Hi everyone! In the video I posted last Wednesday, I talked about losing one of the handicapped baby garter snakes, Raven. And I showed you that her sister, Sparrow, is continuing to grow stronger. I also showed you their mother, Carol, and I mentioned that there had been mating behavior between Daryl and Carol a few months ago, which is what you're watching here. So I knew there would be more babies in the future. Well, apparently Carol was more gravid than I had realized because yesterday she gave birth to another litter of babies. Jeannie and I had spent the afternoon doing some shopping, and we ate some lunch and stopped at the pet store for crickets. And we came home in the afternoon to discover Daryl and Carol's enclosure just crawling with babies. I'm not even sure if I have an accurate count yet, but I think there's either 18 or 19 of them. I quickly removed Daryl and sequestered him to a safe place, and once I was sure that Carol had finished her part, I combed through every inch of the enclosure to make sure I found every baby. It was getting late in the day, so I didn't film any of that. But here they are, only 12 hours old. There were 2 that were stillborn, but so far the rest seem to be healthy and in good condition. Although the kinks in Raven and Sparrow didn't really show up until after they started growing, so I'm going to be watching them closely and hope that they all do well. For now, I've put them in a temporary nursery setup. It's basically a 20-gallon aquarium with paper towel as substrate and several gift card boxes that I fashioned into little hides all over the enclosure. There's a heat mat with a thermostat set to 85 degrees, and I used a low wattage heat lamp to create a basking spot closer to 90 degrees. They're all either finished or finishing up with their first sheds. Some of them are taking advantage of the humid hide to help with that. It's basically just a deli cup that isopods came in, with a door cut in it and damp sphagnum moss inside. And others are just using the water bowl to help them shed. You can see this one dipping himself into the water bowl and then rubbing his skin on the rough surface of the water bowl. This comes naturally to them. Garter snakes are excellent swimmers and they love water. Jeannie asked me if it would be upsetting to Carol to take all of the babies away. I told her not to worry about that. For snakes that give live birth as opposed to laying eggs, like garter snakes and boa constrictors, the babies are born completely independent and they have all of the instincts they need to hunt for food, find water and shelter, and move about to thermoregulate their temperature. They don't rely on their mother for anything once they're born, and she forgets about them pretty quickly. I don't think that means she doesn't care about them, and it was a little sad to see her going up to the stillborn ones and nudging them with her nose. Snakes are generally solitary creatures, but garter snakes are one of the few species that are actually social and can be housed in groups. They actually thrive better when they have some tank mates. And it's so cute to see these babies curl up together in a big pile. Right now, they're still living off of the yolk from their egg sacs, and they'll be getting their first meal from me in about 3 or 4 days. At that time, I'll be splitting them up into a few smaller groups as well. My plan is to keep a few females and a few males, and after they've grown enough, I'm going to put the males together in one enclosure with Daryl, and the females together in another enclosure with Carol. That way, they can have the tank mates they need, Carol's body can take a break, and I can take a needed break as well. I'm going to take some extra time with these guys before rehoming any of them to make sure they're all completely healthy and well established. So it probably won't be until springtime, but I will need to find good homes for them. So if anyone is interested in adopting, just send me an email or a message on Instagram and we can figure that out. I'm going to keep the rehoming fee low, but I'll need help to cover the shipping. Anyway, there's plenty of time to figure that out. For now, I'm just going to enjoy taking care of these adorable babies. And I'll give you plenty of updates on how they're doing.